folks, welcome to Spud Fit. I wanted to make first of all, I wanted to just show you briefly again, the other day I showed you our new book. There it is, the DIY Mega Foods Plan. So click the link below, go and check that out. It's out very soon, but you can pre-order it now. Today I wanted to talk about calorie density. So a big reason why my potato-only Spud Fit Challenge works and why the Mega Foods Plan works for good health and weight loss is this idea called calorie density. So I wanted to try and give you a relatively simple explanation. You know, when we talk about calorie density, we talk about, calories per mouthful or calories per pound, and there's maths involved in that. I want to try to take the maths out of it for you so that it's a little bit easier to understand in simple terms, and you don't really need to think about working out numbers, and you don't need to take a calculator with you when you go to the shop. So calorie density, like I've explained, works on how many calories you get in a mouthful or how many calories are in a pound of food. And more calories per pound means it's more calorie dense. Less calories per pound means it's less calorie dense. So I've drawn some little slides for you. I'm very technologically not advanced, so I just hand drawn things. So calorie density, whole plant foods. All right, so this is just a generic plant food. So these are not, accurate. This is not, accurate according to the proper ratios and whatever. It's just a rough hand-drawn explanation. So you can see at the bottom, we've got fiber. All right, so whole plant foods. Whole plant foods have fiber. That's one of the best things about them. They got fiber, and that's going to take up a portion of the volume of the food. Then we've got water. So whole plant foods, unprocessed foods, they have fiber and water. All right, now the beautiful thing about fiber and water is that they actually contain 0 calories. There's zero digestible calories in fiber and water. So for example, potatoes is my favorite food. They have a lot of fiber and a lot of water in them, so that when you eat a potato, most of what you're eating is 0 calorie food. All right, if you think about fruit, they're high water, they've got fiber and they've got a lot of water in them. Even like beans and rice, those sorts of things are going to have a little bit less water, a little bit more fiber, but especially obviously dried beans don't have water, but once you cook them, they get water in them. And vegetables, leafy greens, a lot of water content, carrots, mushrooms, whatever, lots of water content in those things, and obviously lots of fiber too. So that is 0 calories. And then up the top, you've got energy, or you could say calories. Calories is how we measure energy. All right, and energy is protein, fat, and carbs. All right, that's where your energy comes from in food. All right, and interestingly, protein gives you 4 calories per gram. Carbs give you carbs give you 4 calories per gram as well, and fat gives you 9 calories per gram. So fat is more energy dense than protein or carbohydrates. Now, moving on. Calorie density of meat, dairy, eggs, processed foods. It's a little bit different. So meat, dairy, and eggs and processed foods, they have, you'll see here, no fiber. All right, when foods get processed, most often processed foods, they remove the fiber. So you have no fiber in processed foods, and all those animal foods naturally have no fiber anyway. All right, so when you eat processed foods or animal foods, you're getting no fiber, and fiber is very important for health. All right, you're going to have little to no water content. All right, there might be a little bit of water content. In a lot of processed foods, there'll be next to no water content. Your animal foods might be no water content, or they might just have a little bit of water. All right, and then the rest of it is taken up by energy or calories, protein, fats, and carbs, depending on the food that you're eating. If it's animal-based foods, then you're probably talking about more protein, more fat, less carbs. Animal foods tend to be little to no carbs, a lot of fat and protein. All right, but in relation to calorie density, you can see that most of the volume of this food, of an animal food or a processed food, most of the volume of that is taken up by energy or calories. All right, so you're eating a more calorie dense food. The same amount of food will have more calories in it. So if you fill your stomach up, you might have double or triple the calories that you normally would if you're eating potatoes, fruits, veggies, beans, rice, greens, all that sort of stuff. All right, so that's why it can be harder to lose weight eating those sorts of animal foods and processed foods. You got no fiber, you got only a little bit of water or maybe no water, and then the rest of the volume of food is all taken up by calories. All right, it gets a little bit interesting because we can also do another one of a calorie density of the higher fat plant foods like avocado, nuts, and coconut. They're the best examples of it. So when you look at those foods, so you pick up an almond, for example. It's not juicy. It doesn't have a high water content, or a cashew, or a peanut, or a macadamia, whatever. It's not as juicy. It doesn't have that high water content. So it's a smaller amount of water than we talked about before. Avocado is the same. A little bit more water in, it's a bit more juicy. There is some little level of juiciness when you're talking about an avocado compared to a macadamia, for example. But it's definitely less. And coconut as well. Coconut's a little bit like avocado. There is a little bit of water content to it, but not much. So there's less water. There is fiber in those things, a little bit less. It tends to be a little bit less, but there's still fiber, so that's good. So these are good foods. They're healthy foods, and they're supportive of your health, but they are more calorie dense. So then you look at the energy section, the calorie section, it gets bigger. But not only is there more room in that bit of food by volume to have, a bigger percentage of what you're eating is actually calories, but also those calories are mostly coming from fat in these high-fat plant foods. And as we said earlier, fat goes at 9 calories per gram, whereas protein and carbohydrates go at 4 calories per gram. So these foods, these high-fat plant foods, are much more calorie dense than your typical other plant foods like your potatoes, beans, all that stuff we talked about. All right, so that's why I always say that these foods are healthy foods, but I call them weight maintenance foods rather than weight loss foods. They're good foods, and they're healthy and they support health, but they might not support weight loss. So you might want to, keep them minimal. If you're trying to lose weight, keep those minimal. And if you're one of the people like me who struggle to eat just a little bit of, I can't just eat 2 or 3 macadamias, that's not me, then you might want to leave them out. All right, so there's your weight maintenance kind of foods. Now, just for a bonus slide, calorie density. People talk about oils a lot. So here's your oils. Water, they don't have any water. And this is including olive oil, by the way. Everyone thinks olive oil is great, and yeah, we can make another video about why, how we get confused into thinking olive oil is great, but the short story is that when they make a study saying olive oil is great, it's usually comparing olive oil to other oils. And if you do that, okay, olive oil might be better than other oils, but is it better than no oil at all? Well, they don't want to, the oil companies don't want to fund that study, so we don't really see it. But yeah, oil has no water and it has no fiber as well. And when you're talking about, at 9 calories per gram, this is 100% oil, 100% fat. And, you're looking at 3,500 calories per pound compared to potatoes that are, 350, 380 calories per pound. So, yeah, this is why we say, this is one of the reasons why we say to leave oil out. There's more to it than that. But from a calorie density point of view, if you're including oils, then you're including a very, very energy dense food. All right. So, and as a side note, I've got a little note up here. I don't know if you can read it, but so sugar, 1,755 calories a pound, whereas fat is 3,500 calories per pound. So, we pretty much all agree that sugar is a bad idea. And I agree, yeah, we want to keep sugar very minimal or not at all if you prefer it that way. But, just as a comparison there, when you think sugar's bad, you better believe that fat is at least as bad, but going by calorie density, worse. All right, there you go. I hope that's helpful. I just wanted to, try to explain it in a more simple way. You don't need to worry about maths. You don't need to be memorizing which foods have which number of calories per pound. Just remember, high water content, high fiber content is what you're looking for, and preferably low fat. So if you're trying to lose weight, trying to get healthy, prioritize high fiber, high water content foods, and keep those higher fat plant foods to a minimum, and that'll support weight loss, and it'll give you that lovely full feeling that you get. You don't have to count calories, you don't have to intermittent fast or any of that. You can just eat good food that's high in water, high in fiber, low in fat, and you'll be able to fill up as much as you want, and everything will be fine. So that's that. So click below, there'll be links below. You can check out our Mega Foods Plan book, and you can also get involved in our group and join us for Mega Foods May. If you have any questions or comments, please post in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share. And good to see you again. We're on a roll. We're YouTubing again. It's been a while, but we're back. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Spud up. Eat simply, live fully.